How do any of these transfers compare to Omar Manning, Marquise Stepp, Jordan Stevenson, Tyreek Johnson, or the greatest Husker transfer ever, Tanner Lee?
Okay, you can name all those guys, but you also have to name guys that have worked. It works both ways. Samori Toure worked pretty well.
Trey Palmer.
Yeah, Samori Toure.
Toure.
Nebraska's last two leading receivers, WB, were transfers. I mean, the running back was a junior college transfer. You'd agree Anthony Grant, where he ran for 915 yards behind a bad offensive line and was good. He's good. He's could be the number one guy again this year. So the transfer O'Shawn Mathis wasn't a bad player. I mean, he was good. He didn't put the program or the defense over the top, but he wasn't the reason they were losing. He was pretty good. He came on late in the season. He was all right. So, no, it worked. It's worked. There's probably others. Come on, think about it.
Others that were successful this past year?
Just period.
We never saw much out of Hunter Anthony. Didn't see much out of Kevin Williams. I'm thinking about transfers that came to Nebraska this past offseason.
Yeah, Oliver Martin was productive.
Yeah, to a certain extent.
Productive. Casey Thompson.
Hello. That last year's starting
quarterback. Come on, WB. You got to be fair. Yeah, I mean, of course not every player hits. WB.
What blanket?
We'll have Bill Bush on Monday, by the way.
Hello. Breaking news.
Yeah. We're going to have
studio.
Yeah, we're going to have Bill Bush. And Bill Bush, I bet, would tell you I know this. Mike Eckler told me this, who's one of the best recruiters in the country, that if you're hitting 50-50 as a recruiter, you're doing well. So, yeah, WB, there's got to be some guys that don't work. 50% of them that don't work like you want them to. So, yeah, I mean, you can throw guys out that don't work, but you better throw guys out like Casey Thompson and Samori Toure and Trey Palmer and Anthony Grant.
Brian Buschini.
Nice one, Jake.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do we put Bleak Road in that category or not?
Yeah.
He was okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, you don't know for sure, but I mean, how do you turn now here's a question for WB and you and anybody. If you're Matt Rule, okay, let's just put it this way, okay? This will simplify it for everybody. If you're Matt Rule or Marcus Satterfield and somebody from Georgia calls and says, "Hey, Eric Gilbert's interested in your school," Matt Rule might say, "Okay, fill me in on Eric Gilbert."
Yeah.
Well, he had 35 catches as a true freshman at LSU for 368 yards, and he happened to be the National Gatorade Player of the Year at his high school, Class 7A in Marietta, Georgia. He was the number 2 player in the state of Georgia overall. He was the number 5 player in the class of 20 overall, the number 1 tight end. Would you be interested in him?
I might say, hold on. This sounds too good to be true. Why? Well, why us? Why him?
I don't know. I don't know. I would just say, yeah, well, I want to look at him.
Well, I would say that also, but I'd say why us and why him now?
Well, it's pretty easily explained. Brock Bowers is the best tight end in the country, and Darnell Washington's being mentioned as a first-round trip.
Yes, but I'd be curious why other schools wouldn't be after him.
They are.
I know.
Big Ten schools. A lot. He wouldn't say where he visited.
Yeah.
But you think Nebraska was his only visit?
No, I don't.
Of course it was.
I'm just trying to play devil's advocate.
Would you say no to that?
No, and Nebraska didn't say no.
Why would you? You can make it work.
If you close your eyes, like we did earlier, it's a pretty sight with him and Thomas Fidone together.
Yeah.
If they both can stay healthy on the field.
I understand what WB too. I understand. I'm skeptical about everything, and I get it. And Nebraska. Okay, now you get into a bit of a serious conversation. Nebraska WB has to take chances, whereas Ohio State doesn't. Alabama doesn't. Georgia doesn't. They don't have to take Maurice Washington.
Did Nebraska have to take Maurice Washington?
Yeah, they needed guys.
It didn't work out well.
No,
he was.
Yeah, they did need.
He was solid.
Nebraska needs guys that for whatever reason aren't working at those types of places. Yeah, you need them here. I don't know. I don't.
They can cause more problems than they can be.
But you got to take your chances. You got to take your chances. That's what I believe. That's what this is. You're taking your chances here. But how many All-Americans has Nebraska had in the last 5 years?
None.
Well, how do you win then? How do you win big without All-Americans, Jake? Tell me how that happens.
You develop.
No, how do you do it? No. Well, yeah, you do. How many? Okay, Jake. How many All-Americans has Nebraska developed?
They haven't developed any All-Americans.
How do you beat Ohio State with no All-Americans?
It's very difficult.
How do you beat Michigan with no All-Americans? How do you do it?
It's very difficult.
All right, WB, fill me in. How do you do it? Oh, you just got to coach them up, right? You got to really play hard. Yeah, good luck.
Nebraska was very close to beating Michigan and Ohio State 2 years ago.
Yeah, great. Did
Very
they
close.
do it?
They did not.
With All-Americans, you get over the top. That's how you do it. With Amir Abdullah, you get over the top. With I don't even know if he's an All-American. Close enough.
Second team.
With Levante David, with Randy Gregory, with Grant Wistrom. I mean, they were way over the top at that point, but that's how you get over the top. Boy, I'm being obnoxious.
Yeah, I can play the music for you, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, why don't you hit it?
I don't have it pulled up.
You know, Nick hit it.
Did he?
He hit Take It Easy one time.
What happened?
I don't remember what it was. I was being surly.
Well, I could have played it now, but I did. We got some phone calls to get to. I'm not offended.
Is WB offended?
He says this. You are exactly right. Those guys were very good players. How many wins did their play lead to?
No,
Transfers are Band-Aids. They don't change 4-win programs, says WB.
I mean, I think Randy Gregory, he was a transfer that was a game changer. Levante David was a transfer that was a game changer. JUCO transfers. Game changer.
Those were not guys coming to 4-win programs, though. That's his point.
Well, you need a few of them.
That was a program that was solid, and they made them better. Mm-hmm. Nebraska, they're not a bad football team. They haven't won a lot of games recently
because they don't have All-Americans.